Good afternoon, everyone. Today, we would like to introduce SingleSmurfy, a modular mobile robot designed for learning, searching, and innovations in the field of robotics. Let's begin the presentation with introductions of our member. There is Aisyah Lafisa Sahra, Alicia Teresa Sianturi, Jemima Juliana, Atfa Fiona Marcella, Dorothea Dai, Joel Mark Rodrigo, Marcelinus Diosinius, Clarence Roy Andika, Jose Manuel, Kristiade Eka Syahputra, and the last is Muhammad Novel Ardana. The next slide is about table of content. There is a general definitions, problem statement and timeline, system requirement system, component selections, mechanical, electrical, programming, and the last is conclusions. The next slide is about general definitions. General definitions. SingleSmurfy is a modular education robot platform with an open frame design that support learning and research in embedded system, control, and robotics. Its flexible hardware and software enable rapid prototyping, experimentations, and adaptations for competition and intelligent robotics applications. Next slide, please. It's about problems set and time. The statement is in the early stage of project development. Our team faced obstacles in pursuing component. As several key components were still in the application process and were not yet available in the Play Store. In addition, the design PCB could not be implemented immediately because its manufacturing process took a considerable amount of time. These situations had a direct impact on the project timeline, especially causing delays in the assembly, testing, and system integration stage. So this the project in completion schedule had to be readjusted. The next slide is about timeline will explained by Adva.
Okay, this diagram shows the division of the project schedule into three main areas: mechanical, electrical, and programming. The mechanical phase focuses on fabrication and assembly. The electrical phase is carried out after obtaining alternative components that are not available, with a focus on cable installation. Meanwhile, programming is done in the final stage because it waits for the hardware to be ready. Delays in component procurement and PCB manufacturing result in a shorter programming duration and impact the overall implementation and testing process. Next. For the system requirement review, the Smurfy single robot is a modular mobile robot designed to demonstrate autonomous motion, precise control, and adaptable configuration. The main system requirements include stable motor performance, accurate line and obstacle detection, efficient power regulation, and reliable communication between the master and slave boards to ensure smooth operation and responsiveness. Team Roboros was established under the PBL program to enhance students' competencies in robotics engineering. The team aimed to strengthen collaboration, technical design, and analytical problem-solving skills through the development and implementation of the Smurfy modular robot project. Next is Eagle's turn.
So I will explain about our component selection. There is first we have the Omega 2560 and then the box motor battery info L29810 PR sensor 1 channel, box motor, and we have to husky lamp and 4 glasses RGB. The mechanical is explained by Muhammad Novel Ardana, Muhammad Novel, design designer.
So I'm the one that I'm Muhammad Pradana. I'm the one that designing basic sketch into 3D. The robot development process begins with the creation of 2D design in Onshape, which is then developed into a 3D design. After that, the components are searched and selected according to the specification. All parts are then assembled and integrated to form a robot system ready for testing. Next. This is the part that I make. First, it will cover using the same batik pattern as base 2 and 3, specially designed to protect the wheel on the robot as a support for a line sensor and to enhance the appearance of the robot. The second one is bottom base for DC motor and battery. It designed to house a DC motor and battery, especially the battery holder will be placed in the center of the base to facilitate wiring. Next. This is the software that I use. I use Onshape and GrabCAD. Onshape is where I make the design and combining all of the part that I make. And the GrabCAD is where I take the component, the 3D component. Next slide will be presented by Jemima. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Noval. So I discuss on base 1 and 2. On base 1 and 2, I add a batik pattern on the left and right side on the base. In the middle of the base, I add several 3mm circle for the microcontroller holder. On base and 2, we use 3mm acrylic with sweep printing using laser cutting. The next will be discussed by Grace.
Next slide is prototype. Fabrications using laser cutting to realize two shapes into prototype. In this prototype, the latest development is by reducing one level of the base sections because it's too heavy and using 5mm acrylic on the bottom base, 3mm middle base, and the top. This aims to reduce the load of the robot can run smoothly. Next slide. Mechanical analysis. There is about Smurfy analysis. There is about top and middle diameter, base 15 centimeter, bottom base dimensions is 17 centimeter. Robot height is 19 centimeter, and the robot speed plus robot weight. Next slide is about the problem statement. The problem is budget reductions on aluminum process. The problem solve is replace the aluminum with 5mm, which is available because it is able to withstand the load from above. Using 5mm acrylic is too thick for spacer and too heavy. Using the available 3mm acrylic because it is considered the most suitable for holding the component. The last is the load is too heavy because the prototype used 5mm on the bottom base. So we just reduce because using 5mm acrylic on the bottom base made the load heavy and the robot difficult to move. The top base was finally reduced by one level. Thank you. So the next slide is about electrical wheel, explained by Marcel.
Okay, schematic slave. The slave system schematic use Arduino as the main controller with get it 5V power supply from a battery with a ground connected to all components. Two L298N motor driver are used to control for the DC motor where the ENA and ENB pins are connected to the Arduino PWM pins for speed control, while the EN1 or EN4 pins are used to determine the direction of the motor rotation. In addition, two ER sensor are supplied with a 3 V voltage, and their output is read through the Arduino analog pins A8 and A9. This system function as a slave unit that receives commands, process sensor data, and controls the movement of the motors. Okay, next slide will be presented by Josh.
In the previous image, the Arduino Mega 2560 and SP32 communication is use serial TX RX. So the exchange was performed one way alternative. The Arduino acts as the master that control communication, while the ESP32 acts as the slave to receive or send additional data. With your change the main function of the motor, their sensor, oscillants, and L298 and driver, which remain the same. Next to Digo.
So I will explain about when we use a good motor, automation is programming and on motor terminal strong electrical connection and reduce contact resistance. And computer is connected the DC motor to the L9 AM pressure and to the yang kita So it is about accessory engineering from perform well for other components to the motor. For the figure is programming on motor terminals and strong electrical connection and reduce resistance and connected the DC motor to the Q9 motor pressure. Integrate the motor pressure with the motor control and power distribution and verified power supply lines, signal connection, and grounding to prevent short circuit and voltage loss. Carry out troubleshooting to identify and correct errors, reverse polarity and or loose connection. At last, we ensure our wiring function properly before proceeding to the next integration stage. For the next slide, will be explained by Dorothea.
Next, communication robot wiring. The previous wiring system was troubleshoot, and the initial wiring using a master board was re-evaluated. Next, the IR sensor and oscillants components were rewired using an Arduino Mega as the main controller.
Okay, next. This is our autopilot programs. Discuss NIP is part of the input system initialization stage in a robot, specifically a line follower robot combined with a Husky Lens AI camera. The code prepares the main source of robot sensing, namely the lens sensor and AI-based vision camera, so that the robot is able to make decisions based on the track conditions and visual objects around it. Defining the pin configuration of the robot's drive motors, the robot used for DC motors, front left, front right, rear left, and rear right that are controlled via direction pins in 1 until in 4, and PWM enable pins to regulate motor speed. With this configuration, the robot can perform various movements such as forward, backward turning, and rotation in place. Additionally, the RGB light system is defined as a visual indicator which will light up according to the object ID detected by Husky Lens. In the configuration section, the threshold value for the lens sensor is specified. This value is used as a reference to distinguish between light and dark surface. Global variables are then prepared to store the raw sensor values, the line detection status, object ID from Husky Lens, and camera connection status. Next. Okay, this is the void setup function. It's responsible for initializing the entire system. Serial communication is enabled for debugging purpose, and all motor pins, sensor, and leads are configured as inputs or outputs according to their respective functions. The robot is also placed in a safe initial state before normal operation begins. Next, the program attempts to establish communication with the Husky Lens module via a hardware serial interface. The connection status is verified during initialization to ensure that the vision sensor is ready before the system proceeds with full operation. In the loop function, the robot works continuously. First, the system reads the line follower sensor to determine the position of the line. If Husky Lens is connected, the camera will be read to detect objects and retrieve the ID of the visible objects. Based on the ID, the RGB light will light up with a specific color as a visual indication, such as red, green, or blue. After that, the robot determines the motor movement based on the line sensor status. If one of the sensor is off the line, the robot will correct its direction by turning the wheels. If both sensors are on the line, the robot moves right. If both sensors do not detect the line, the robot will move backward to find the track again. Next, Chris will explain the next slide. This slide, sorry.
Okay, thank you. Now I will explain about autopilot sensor and Husky Lens. The first, the read line sensor function reads analog values from the two line follower sensor at the bottom of the robot to determine the position of the line. These values are compared to a threshold and converted into a simple logic status. The sensor is considered to be on the black line or outside the line white. The robot uses the result to determine the direction of movement, such as forward of turning. Meanwhile, the read Husky Lens function reads the detection result from the Husky Lens camera. Its reading begins by clearing the previous ID. Then, the Arduino requests data from the Husky Lens and retrieves the object ID. If the camera detects a valid object, this ID becomes high-level visual information that can be used as a trigger for the robot response, such as turning or on LED or changing behavior. Next, the print debug info function is used to display the robot internal condition in real time to the serial monitor to simplify testing and debugging. This function begins by parenting as a separator line to clearly discussing its data reading cycles. The function then display information from the line follower sensor, including the raw analog values from the right and left sensor, analog along with their corresponding status indicating whether its sensor is detecting the line or not. This information helps the user understand how the robot perceives the track and whether the sensor readings are within the expected range. Finally, the function displays the robot's movement decision based on the combination of the two sensor status, such as turning left, turning right, moving straight, forward, or stopping. Through this output, the print debug info function server as an effective monitoring tool that summarizes sensor reading and the resulting control decision in a clear and structured manner. Next. And the last, this is about void we use. The first, void move forward, move backward, turn up left, turn up right, rotate left, rotate right, uh, rotate left, stop. Next. Okay, this is autopilot LED function. This collection of functions serve as an RGB LED controller used as a visual indicator on robot. Its function control the LED lighting conditioned by activating or deactivating its red, green, and blue color channel through the PWM pin. The red on, green on, and blue on function each turn on one LED color while turning off the other two color, so that the LED only emits red, green, or blue light deepening on the function call. The white on function turn on all the three color channels simultaneously, so that the LED emits white light, which is typically used as a special condition. LED off function turn off all color channels so that the LED does not light up. Overall, this function provides simple and easy to understand status indicator that can be used to display sensor detection, result, or specific condition on the robot without having to look at the serial monitor. Next. The pilot will be explained, Dika. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you. Now I want to explain the pilot program. The first, I want to explain workflow. The workflow is GUI using a HTTP, go to ESP32 using the I2C, go to the Arduino Mega, and last go to the motor. The next. And this is a GUI program. This part of the program set up the basic configuration for robot control. It defines the ESP32 EIP address, the data sending interval, and a dead zone to prevent unstable movement. And this section of the program handles input processing, safety control, and data transmission. The dead function applies a dead zone to ignore small input values, while the update Vx, update Vy, and update W function update the motion comments based on user input. This part of the program creates the main GUI window and sets is the title, size, and dark background theme. And this part of the program adds GUI control for horizontal movement and rotation. The, the VX slider is uses to control the robot left and right movement, while the Omega slider control the robot rotational motion. Both sliders are arranged horizontal style with the different color for easy identification. Okay, next. This part this part of the program adds a stop button. The image digitally halts the robot by sending zero motion commands. It also defines a loop function. The continuously sends update control commands and regularly intervals using after ensuring real-time control. Okay, next.
Next, the program for ESP will be explained by me. This part of the program defines the basic configuration and variables for the ESP32 control system. It includes the required libraries for Wi-Fi communication, HTTP server handling, and I2C communication. The constants define the I2C slave address, the data sending period, and the low pass filter coefficient used to smooth motion comments. The Wi-Fi SSID and password are set to so the ESP32 can connect to the network and act as a server. The variables store the target machine commands received from the client, while the variables store the filtered values that will be sent to the motor controller. The last send variable is used to control the timing of data transmission, so it follows the defined send period. Next, for the bottom, this part of the program handles command reception, data processing, and communication with another device. The handles command function receive motion commands like VX, VY, and W from a client via HTTP request, stores them as target values, and sends an OK response to confirm reception. The send I2C function transmits the filtered motion values to another microcontroller using I2C communication. In the setup section, the ESP32 initializes I2C connects to the Wi-Fi network and starts an HTTP server on the CMD endpoint. In the loop, the ESP32 continuously handles client requests, smooth the target values using a low-pass filter, and periodically sends the data over I2C according to the defined interval, ensuring smoother and more stable robot motion. Next. Yeah. Next. Next. Ini masih program baru. Next, program for Mega. This part of the program defines the I2C communication settings and motor pin configuration on the Arduino Mega. The I2C ADGR specifies the I2C slave address, allowing the Arduino to receive data from a master device such as ESP32. The following definition assign pins for the 4 mechanomotors like front left, front right, rear left, and rear right, where each motor uses 2 direction control pins like IN1 and IN2, and 1 enable pin, EN, to control the motor speed using PWM signals. This configuration allows independent control of the direction and speed of each motor. And for the bottom one, this section of the program defines the control data, safety timing, and input filtering for the robot. The variables VX, VY, and Omega store the robot's motion commands for right-left movement, forward-backward movement, and rotation, and are declared as
volatile because they are updated inside an I2C interrupt routine. The timeout mechanism uses less GMD time to stop the robot if no new command is received within a specified time, improving safety. A dead zone is applied using the DZ function to ignore small input values and prevent unwanted motor movement due to noise. The receive event function is triggered when the data is received via I2C, reads the incoming motion commands, and updates the command timestamp. Next, this log function contains the main control logic of the Mecanum robot. First, it checks a safety timeout to ensure that the robot stops if no new command has been received within the specified time. Next, a dead zone is applied to input the motion commands to eliminate small noise. The filtered values are then processed using Mecanum wheel kinematics to calculate the individual speeds of each wheel. After that, a normalization step ensures that none of the wheel speeds exceed the maximum allowed value. Finally, the calculated speeds are sent to the motor drivers, allowing the robot to move smoothly and safely according to the received commands. Next. Next, so here's for the changes of the website that before the original website is at the top and the after is at the bottom. This is the home section. Next. This is the competition section. You can see the before after. The before is the element has 2 lines, and then for the after, the element has only 1 line. Next. So here's the standard robot platform before and after. Next. Conclusion.
So this is our conclusion. The single configurable successful a functional modular delivery institutional in component for development and manufacturing. Adjustment to the mechanical design, electrical system, and programming, the robot is able to proceed with integration of line floor, action, outside the speed, and mechanical control. This project improves the technical and collaboration skills in line with the objective of project development.
Okay, that concludes our presentation. We apologize for any mistakes in our presentation. Thank you.